G'day to our indie brewing community. This is Team IBA, Chairman Richard Adamson and your CEO Kylie Lethbridge, coming to you in a different form than our regular newsletters. Today we've got some big announcements to make and some new plans to talk to you about for 2022. So we thought we'd get on video and Rich and I would have a bit of a chat amongst ourselves.
Yes, we had a pretty important board meeting this week and talking about the planned activities for the rest of the year for the IBA. As you well know, we're doing a review of the Indies, and we expect to have the results of that very soon. And we're looking forward to holding the Indies again this year. We have been talking to a lot of partners and people in the events and conference industry, and trying to get a forecast on what things may look like this year. I know everyone is grappling with the changes of restrictions and what people's customer base may look like in their hospitality fields and what it looks like out for customers in hospitality. It's very uncertain at the moment. We've got to work through what winter may look like with variants, outbreaks, and restrictions. So yeah, it's a difficult place to navigate through.
I think I had come back from a small break over Christmas, and in understanding, watching the event space, talking to colleagues in the industry, watching announcements of beer festivals in Germany, completely cancelling events this year, and came back and basically said to the board, it's been so wonderful to have operated under in an environment of optimism for the last 2 years and bloody hard work to get things delivered and to get things happening. But given the situation that we ended up in 2021 and we faced at the beginning of 2022, I felt, and I had to reach out and say to the board that we actually needed to be realistic about some of the things that we might be able to do and might not be able to do. And we were very conscious that over the last 2 years we've geared up, spent a whole lot of time and effort on events and festivals, only to either have to downscale or cancel altogether. And it was extremely important to me, and certainly I'm sure to the board, that we were analysing and trying to assess and understand the playing field so we could ensure that we don't continue to gear up and spend all of our time and effort on things only to be cancelled.
That's right, and the IBA does have limited resources, and thanks to all the members that have paid their fees during a difficult time. But I think it's important that we adapt those resources to deliver the best outcome for members, and gearing up for events that may or may not happen, and asking the hospitality sector particularly to gear up for large scale events that they may have to staff, and maybe people are still hesitant to attend events where there is a lot of patrons. We have made the difficult decision to cancel Good Beer Week for this year and reschedule BrewCon. Still happening up in Queensland for August 2023, and that should give all our partners and members some certainty around what's happening for 2022, and we can focus on really delivering the best services we can for members during this year.
And this Rich and the board will agree that this wasn't a decision to cancel events, is not a decision that we've made lightly. There's been a lot of assessment, a lot of marathon board meeting yesterday to talk about what that looks like for us, and to understand the as Rich said, the financial and reputational risk, as well as whether or not there's a moral obligation as to whether or not we should be doing some of these things. But through the engagement work that we did with our members, our 535 members across the country, late last year with KPMG, to look at what went into our 10-year roadmap, we listened very clear, and it was certainly, it wasn't necessarily we want you to run events. There was a lot of other priorities that our members have, and we feel that as an association and And your CEO doing her job is to advise the board as to what we should be doing to meet our members' needs. So, although this is possibly disappointing news for some, we want to spend a little bit longer talking to you about the things that we're going to do instead, because for us it's super exciting. There's some big things on the cards anyway, but we're adding to that plan because we're not spending all of our time and effort preparing for those events.
And Kylie, that's a great point. I think there's some really exciting things that are in store. Do you want to run through some of those? I'll let you take the lead on that rather than you can deliver some good news.
I will. Thanks, Rich. And as I said, I'm a little bit excited at the same time as disappointed. But this time allows us to really consolidate some work that we've been doing over the last couple of years to clean house as you do when you have some time to be able to think about that and some clear space. But the agenda is jam-packed. So essentially, the board has agreed to a number of activities. One is we'll be really excited to launch our 10-year roadmap in the next couple of months. We're just finalising that work with KPMG now, and we'll be looking to launch it in Sydney, or in New South Wales, given it's been funded by that government. So we will go up there and raise a beer to the minister who allowed us the resources to be able to do that long-term plan. What we want to do in the lead up to a federal election is ensure that that plan is adopted and as federal policy. So we'll be doing a lot of advocacy work in getting the relevant departments at a national level to recognise that what they sent us away to do, e.g. to get a reputable plan, we have done, and therefore we'll be looking to have them adopt that plan. We've also refreshed our project groups, and we have some amazing skills and talent and a significant amount of enthusiasm and understanding of what members' needs are. So our trade engagement group, being led by Ev from Bright Brewery, has got a whole raft of things that they want to do this year, and we'll be ramping up our partnership and our partnership efforts and our co-op opportunities with the trade. In response to that, our sustainability project group is also going great guns and has some serious objectives, as has our consumer engagement and our people group. There's more going on at the people level than I think probably ever has been. So that's an exciting piece of work as well. One of the important things, again, as you told us last year, is that members want resources. You want more technical resources, things like sales tools, guides on how to process a recall, tools and guidelines on navigating regulatory obligations, shared buying power, which is something that certainly would be very new to us, but we're just turning our mind as to how we might go about that. Shared systems, so technology, we understand is a really big barrier for you, and you're all trying to do it individually. So is there some role we can play there in delivering on what that 10-year roadmap says that we need to do to ensure that we meet that target of market share by 2031 or 2032. Instead of, we realise that networking opportunities are really important to our members, and again, because we haven't had BrewCon now since 2019, we've really missed those opportunities and those times to get together and have a beer, either in a formal or an informal setting. I certainly know I've worked for the IBA now for nearly 2 years, and I haven't got out anywhere near as much as I wanted to, including still being working from home. So we're going to introduce a series of bringing the IBA to you. So we're going to come and we're going to have some networking lunches, and we're going to have some mashups in each state or region. And I say region because obviously some of our states are quite large. So in Western Australia and Queensland, we might have a couple, for example, where we come and talk to you, and it also provides our opportunity, our suppliers and the trade an opportunity to come together and network with brewers, which is also really important to the supply chain. The consumer campaign is really important, and we've been building the creative and the national media schedule for that over the last couple of months. So we'll be launching that hopefully by the end of possibly by the beginning of April. We're just working on the creative at the minute, and we'll be developing some toolkits for our members to outline how you can maximize and build on that campaign. And as we've said to you many times through our updates, this is the start of a very long journey of trying to raise awareness of what that seal means within our consumer group. So we've picked an agency that we're hoping, they're called Loud. They're based in Sydney, and we're hoping will come on a very long journey with us of having consumers really understand what that seal is when they see it on your packaging or they see it on a can on a shelf. We'll be, as Rich said, we'll absolutely be having an Indies Awards this year. So we'll be implementing the review following on from some of those challenges we experienced in 2021. We're expecting the review in the next few weeks, so we'll be boots and all into getting onto that, because we would normally be opening for entries in the next couple of months anyway. Our people group have been doing a great job in helping us build a HR toolkit. So we're developing a number of position description templates, policy and procedure templates. There'll be 20 or 30 different assets that hopefully you'll benefit from, that will be released in the next couple of months as well. And that's just, again, one of the resources that you've told us that would be helpful and what you need. I might stop talking now, because the next thing on my list is education and training, and you want to hear that from Richard Adamson.
Yes, we are definitely doing a lot of work on that front, and I think it's important to know that we're getting out to a lot of the states where maybe they're not serviced well by their tertiary education, and working to not only get a craft beer strategy within those states, but education is front and center. You've said to us that getting trained brewers is a priority, and we certainly recognise that, and we're pushing really hard to further the education opportunities and the apprenticeships that are available across the states that aren't serviced at the moment, whilst also expanding in the states that have made a great start. So really positive activity on that front. We're getting heard, and we're getting listened to by the states. So hopefully we can make some more announcements this year on further educational opportunities and apprenticeship opportunities for brewers. So I think really in summary, Golly, we're saying that we're going to be delivering more services to members. We've listened to what those services are that you're asking for, and that's what we're aiming to deliver. We're going to keep the engagement up and get more feedback from you as an industry in terms of what you want to do. We'll be doing that in a COVID-safe way as much as possible by coming to you and meeting amongst your cohort and getting along some of those supply partners to talk to you as well. Indies will be going ahead this year, a revamped one based on the review we've had and the feedback we've received from you as members as well. And thank you to those who have given that feedback. And yes, onwards upwards from here, Collie.
Absolutely, Rich, and our members will get some more detailed communication, because there's a few other things on the list, but we don't want to take up too much of your time in watching this video. But we really, and I personally just wanted to highlight that although it may seem we're taking something from you, we hope that it's not all doom and gloom, and that you'll see that that what we're going to deliver in continuing on our existing activities well. So we're still banging on about national alignment of CDS and the other advocacy activities that we're doing at a state level on licensing and planning regulations, and all of that will still continue. And we, again, personally, I can't, hand on heart, I can't thank you all enough for the support you already give us. We're happy, and I'm always happy to hear feedback, and you all have my direct line and email. So we hope that that we'll continue to have the support of our, it's why we're here. So we want to make sure that as an association, that has grown and evolved very quickly and had to weather a global pandemic, that we're changing and realigning our activities based on what our industry needs, trying to keep up with that rapid growth, and that you'll stay with us on the journey and benefit from the hard work that we'll still continue to put in on your behalf over the next year or so.
Absolutely. And thanks everyone for listening. You've made it to 15 minutes. Well done. We'll see you out there around the country.
Thanks, guys. Cheers to Indie Beers.